first event was back in 1996, and I went to that event as a manager of a fighter. I managed a fighter named Scott the Pitbull Ferrazzo, this big, massive, 340-pound monster. He fought Tank Abbott, he had some pretty exciting fights, but I didn't want to be a fight manager. I wasn't interested in that. This was just a ploy on my part because I wanted to be the announcer. I wanted to be the Octagon announcer. So I figured, how am I going to get this to happen? I was calling the offices in New York, and they said, listen, the announcer's uncle had passed away, has to go to a funeral. We need you in Alabama in 2 days. Can you be there? And I said, oh, I'm in the hospital. I'm with my mom. She just had a serious operation. She's recuperating. She's half awake. She's listening to the call. I said, listen, I'll call you back. And I looked at my mom. She said, who was that? She said, that was the call you've been waiting for, isn't it? I said, yeah, Mom, they called. And she gave me that whole, like in Rocky, when his wife is in the hospital and she's upset, he can't train, he can't do anything, and she goes like this, you know, win.
She gave you her blessing.
She gave me a thumbs up. She said, you gotta go, go. Don't worry about me, I'll be okay. And she's my best friend, you know, we're very close. So I went off, did UFC 10, and then I came back and I thought, okay, I did a really good job. I thought I did a good job. I look at it now, and it's not what I'm used to. I wanted to stand on my own laurels and be Bruce Buffer, and that's exactly what I set out to do. I told myself for 2 years after I started this job in '96, if I couldn't develop my own style, I was gonna quit. I didn't want to be the guy, I'm the guy that sews his coattails on. I didn't want to be the guy riding the coattails. You know what it is? I've got a first-class seat on an amazing rocket ship that just keeps going uphill, and it's quite a ride, Mike. I've been at this, 25 years. February 16th was my 25-year anniversary of the Octagon.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you,
man,
Mike.
big.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Silver anniversary, but I'm not stopping. Yeah, the one thing I always tell everybody is that back in 1996, when I got involved with the UFC, I realized this was going to be the biggest thing happening in fighting sports. I realized it was probably going to be the biggest thing in sports. And that's why I stuck with it. When you stick with something, when I set a goal, I stick with it to the end. I'm a loyal soldier. I've wanted to do everything I could way beyond being the voice of the Octagon and the Octagon announcer for the UFC, because I love the organization, I love the sport, I love the honor of announcing these female and male Octagon warriors, the greatest fighters in the world, some of the greatest people I've met, the friendships I've made, the relationships with the media, with fighters, with the people I work with. This is like Boy Scouts go to camp, man, every weekend. Let's face it. I love this. This is awesome. Yeah. Doesn't matter. I can do this with one leg. I can do this with a busted back. I can do it with the flu. I can do it with laryngitis. And trust me, I've done it after a major operation I've never even told you about. The bottom line is, these warriors are fighting, okay? I can get in there and always do my job to honor them. That's my job. The show's not about me. It's about them. I serve them, and I serve the fans, and I serve you. I want to go out, feed off the crowd, feed the energy, and give it a purely passionate, organic performance of announcing. When there's 20,000 in the arena, 50,000, 10,000, millions watching on TV, every night for the last 24 plus years that I've been in the Octagon, when I announce, I am looking, you know me, Ariel, you see me announce, I am looking into the eye of the tiger, okay? I am focused on the fighter. My job at that point is the show is not about me, it's about the fighter, and it's for the fans. And looking into their eye, announcing in the way I do, them allowing me to enter their space, close interaction, whether it's TJ Dillashaw, Dan Hardy, Michael Chiesa, however the announcement goes, because I never know what I'm gonna do till I do it. I don't rehearse, I get in there, feed off the crowd, and organically do it, but in this case, there's no crowd. But I'm still looking in the eye of the tiger. So when I announce normally, I don't even hear the crowd. Even the biggest days, biggest shows you can imagine. When I was in Brazil in the early 2000s or whatever, when we went back and we had the first show in Sao Paulo and 20,000 people yelled, "It's time" to me. Stitch Duran, the cut man, told me after I got out of the Octagon, "Buff, did you hear that? They all said, it's time with you." And I said, he goes, "It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen." And I'm like, no, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it because I don't hear it. I'm focused on the fighter. So now there's no audience. And the UFC is doing such a great job production-wise of bringing it across. You hear the punches louder, you hear the kicks louder, you hear the coaches louder, you hear the commentators louder. I think it still has a great air for it. And when it comes to me and my announcing, it's the same, So I get in there and I know more importantly than ever, I've got to put on the show to give it that show feeling. And that's no problem. I can still do it. And I'm not being false, I'm being real. I'm bringing all the energy because that's what I'm feeling at that moment. Well, it's incredible. I'm not saying I wanted to stay this way because I missed the fans, right?
Right.
And usually I'm spending half the evening taking pictures with the fans, and adoringly so, because they deserve every bit of attention they get, paying their hard-earned money and living the UFC lifestyle they lead. I'm all about the fans. But now with COVID-19 and the pandemic, I can't even get close to take pictures. So that's out of the picture. I can't shake hands. That's out of the picture. We're going through some changes. But when I get out of the octagon, normally I'm sitting right on the octagon edge there, right beside where the fighters walk up and right beside the red corner. Now I have a table about 20 feet back from the octagon, right? 15, 20 feet. And I've got a nice 6-foot table for myself. I'm sitting alone. I'm distanced. I'm enjoying the fights more than ever. Right? I'm not getting up to take pictures with the fans, which again, I'm always happy to do. I can actually sit there, have a front row seat with 50 people in the arena or whatever it is, watching these great male and female warriors putting their blood, sweat, and tears on the line in my favorite sport, aside from surfing, which is my favorite sport. I'm a kid in a candy store, Ariel. So again, I try to take the negatives and make them into a positive. The UFC just did such a great job on safety and protocol with all of us, testing us and made us feel safe. And we're in the arena, the masks, everything out. I mean, their safety protocol, 150%. So we got through that. We showed the world we can have a show, and I'm enjoying it. I can't wait till the fans come back, but I have no problem. I've had a lot of bucket lists that have been crossed out, and there's more to come. As far as in the UFC, I just want to continue to announce these great warriors. I've had the Super Bowl commercial, but I would love to be on the field for the Super Bowl one day, announcing everybody coming out of the tunnel and start off the game. I've done it for the NFL, the NBA, hockey, baseball. I've done it for all the sports, you know, so there's always another accomplishment. There's always another mountain to climb, and I'm always open for a challenge. You know, let me parachute out of a plane and parachute into a stadium and yell it's time as I land. I'll do it. You know, you ask me to, I'm there. I'm always game for something. I don't get nervous. I get excited. I get rushes of adrenaline. You see the way I am before I go out for the main event. I'm getting my head in the game. I have to give it my all. Every night I walked out there is my first night to prove to Dana, the powers that be, the fans, the fighters, yourselves, and myself that I deserve this job. Every night to me is my first night, a night that I have to prove to myself, to the fighters, to the fans, to Dana White and the powers that be, that I deserve this job. I've maintained this feeling for the last 24 plus years that I've been announcing in the octagon since 1996. And that's what keeps me driven. You know me, I'm full of passion and I'm full of drive. And when my passion wanes for what I love to do in life, which is my beloved UFC and my office, the octagon, then I'll probably come on your show and say I'm going to retire. You know, when it comes my time, when I announce my retirement, which won't be again for years, when my passion wanes, then I'm going to retire. That's just the way it is. I mean, I'm the first one to cash the paycheck on a Monday morning at the bank like anybody else, but I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this for the love of what I do. I'm a fan first and an announcer second. And as far as it never being the same, the bottom line is, you know, we all make our mark in life. And when I leave, I just hope that people respect the fact that I always gave 100+%. I always gave my all. I always put my passion into it to enhance this moment for the fighters and for the fans. And, you know, I did it the way I did it. I did it my way, as Sinatra says. And somebody else will come along and they'll do it their way. You know, I can only answer for what I do when I do it. And I love what I do. And that's all I can tell you.